King Charles and Queen Camilla have arrived, and they want falafel. This was what was on CTV. CTV spent a full 5 minutes on the demand for falafel. Like this is our country right now. You're welcome, single mom just trying to feed your kids. Let's go.
Welcome to Bakes on Things.
Well, welcome back to Bakes on Things. Just a touch fired up today. Everyday Canadians are sitting out there watching this struggling big time. And we're talking about record food prices here. We're talking about unaffordable housing. We're talking about the healthcare system buckling right under our noses. And small businesses continue to go under on a daily basis. But wait a minute. Whoa, 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 whoa. Wait a minute, CTV. What did you want to spend the day focused on again yesterday? King Charles? Right, right. He did arrive with Queen Camilla. Oh, and you wanted to focus on his falafel craving. I mean, am I being punked? I mean, I am not even kidding here. This literally happened. As the King and Queen Camilla arrive in Canada for the May 27th, today's speech from the throne, the press was gushing all over him. Now, they normally do that when he arrives here, so no big surprise, but not about the state of the country, though. Not about poverty or Indigenous rights or inflation, but about what kind of chickpea based snack His Majesty might nibble on whilst here. I mean, this is a joke, right? Or is this just how far removed our elites in this country have truly and irreparably become? Because mainstream media headlines will read like this today. And honestly, I didn't even look at what the paper headlines are because I don't want to see it. It's going to read like satire. Charles's favorite local falafel revealed. Queen Camilla curious about Canadian cuisine. Are we kidding? There are single mothers out there that can't feed their kids. People can't afford to feed their own children, and this is what we're talking about. The royal visit, this royal visit in particular, with all its pomp, ceremony, and media fluff, is an absolute slap in the face to every Canadian just trying to survive right now. It's not just tone deaf, it's completely offensive and a huge waste of taxpayer money. We are currently dealing with an affordability crisis like this country has never seen. We are dealing with small businesses collapsing all around us and people still paying back pandemic relief that's been clawed back on them. We are dealing with Indigenous communities still waiting for clean water. That's right, clean water. We're dealing with record opioid overdoses. We're dealing with a housing market that's shattered families and their dreams of home ownership for years to come. And in the middle of all of that, we get ridiculous mainstream media headlines and news stories about falafel. How is that not a symbol of everything that's broken in Canada? How can you not believe Pierre Poilievre when he says Canada is broken, when we're doing falafel stories on the king while everyone else suffers? Let's talk brass tacks here because this is driving me crazy. Do you know what this visit is costing taxpayers? No, you don't, because nobody's disclosed it yet. We don't have the full figure, but past royal visits have cost Canadians millions of dollars in flights, security, accommodations, events, and apparently now an epic amount of falafel. And for what? So a non-elected monarch from a colonial past can deliver a speech written by our sitting government that they could have delivered whilst not spending the money on having the king here, and they wrap it in gold trim and it's read under a crown. How many Canadians even really cared about this visit in the first place before the media started shoving falafel coverage down our throats? Because here's the truth, folks. The monarchy isn't just irrelevant, it's now insulting. And this makes it even worse. This kind of discussion, this kind of journalism, and this kind of news story make it even worse. And then it goes well beyond that. Let's get a little more serious for a second. This is not just about optics. It's also about royal betrayal. See, the crown has direct historic ties to the oppression of Indigenous peoples in Canada. Treaties were signed with the crown. Residential schools were part of the crown's colonial systems. And I get that King Charles wasn't part of that, but his family sure was. And yet, here we are rolling out the red carpet, while Indigenous communities, as I said earlier, are just fighting for water. But across this country, they still fight for many basic services. How is that okay? This is not reconciliation. This is a distraction, a glorified PR stunt under the guise of falafel. And these falafel jokes, well, they're not even joking. That's the problem. They're just icing on the imperial cake here, all of this. They were serious about the falafel he wants to enjoy here. That's the worst part. It's not even a joke. Let's ask the deeper question no one wants to touch here. And that's probably why they spent so much time on a delicious dish. What does this say about our sovereignty in general? See, this is supposed to be something, and the media played it up as this says we are sovereign. But we're supposedly an independent country, well, a G7 nation, in fact. And yet, here we are hosting a royal who isn't elected, who doesn't live here, who doesn't understand our current crisis, nor could he ever with his golden shoes, to deliver our government's speech from the throne to people he's never met. If we were truly sovereign, why do we still need a figurehead from a foreign monarchy to ceremonially open parliament? Why does our prime minister still pledge allegiance to a monarch whose authority is symbolic at best, but whose presence reinforces Canada's colonial subservience? The falafel story isn't just a distraction. It isn't just disrespectful. It's a symptom. It's a symptom of a deeper issue. We are still playing pretend with our independence. We're still playing castle with the royal family. A truly sovereign nation doesn't need validation from a king. It leads itself, alone, independently. It's time to ask, do we want to keep living under the illusion of independence, or do we want to actually take our independence for ourselves? Because this type of visit and this type of pomp and circumstance shows we are not sovereign whatsoever. And media? Where's the journalism? Where's the outrage in all of this? Instead of holding the government and the monarchy to account, Canadian media is busy acting like a Buckingham Palace fan club. That's the bottom line. No coverage of how much this visit will cost us. No questions about why we're even doing it in the first place. No pushback on what this says about our values or the values between our elites and those who are struggling to even pay their bills. It's just fluff. Empty coverage for empty ceremony. They're calling it even historical. And they wonder why no one trusts them anymore. But let's be even more blunt. This isn't just laziness. This is willful ignorance. It's complicity. It is expected of them, and they're paid for it. We have major national networks prioritizing a royal's food preferences over the most pressing issues facing our country. There is no way a single liberal can get into my comments right now and justify this in any way. No deep dives into Canada's broken healthcare crisis media, no aggressive investigation into Indigenous water advisories media, no prime time segments on affordability, housing, or youth unemployment media, no scrutiny of the political value of keeping a monarch in the loop at all media. Instead, we get journalists elbowing each other for a cute quote about what falafel the king is going to eat whilst here. And why? Because it's safe. It's easy. It doesn't rock anybody's boat. This is why trust in media is collapsing. This is why our country is falling apart. They refuse to challenge power. They avoid uncomfortable truths. And they hide behind shallow entertainment when real Canadians need answers. And when real Canadians really need help, it's a betrayal of the public trust. It's not just out of touch, it's a failure of their core responsibility as journalists. Journalism is supposed to speak the truth to power, but our media, it speaks comfort to power, and it gaslights the rest of us. You want to know why Canadians are turning to independent voices like myself and many other much bigger people on this platform than myself? It's because we're the only ones that actually say what everyone else is thinking. Mainstream media in this country isn't asleep at the wheel. They're wide awake, but they're steering the ship straight into irrelevance. And here's the most dangerous part: this failure doesn't just let power off the hook, it actively promotes and enables this behavior. By refusing to ask the tough questions of our leaders and of our elites, they create a fog of distraction that allows government missteps, broken promises, and elite entitlement to flourish unchecked. It's not just dereliction, it's damage. So when people ask why Canadians are tuning out traditional media, this is why. We're done with the fluff. We want accountability. We want truth. And we're not going to get it from our networks. Networks obsessed with falafel while the country burns. Yeah, that's a bit dramatic, but it's not, because people's economies, personal economies, are burning. Canadians are hurting, and we're being ignored. It's time to start demanding that our media talk about what actually matters to this country in the right way. It's time to ask why we're still propping up a colonial institution in 2025. And it's time to recognize that when a king flies across the ocean and demands local falafel and gets more press than our collapsing healthcare system or our housing crisis, that's just not funny. That's disgusting. Please share what your thoughts are in the comments. I always like to read those and like to participate in your conversation. This country belongs to its people, not to a king, not to a PR machine, and definitely not to a falafel flavored feudalism. Thanks for watching.